I remember the roar of the crowd as I crossed the finish line of the Ironman 70.3 in Chattanooga. All I could do was cry tears of joy. My preparation, my determination, that's what willed me to the finish line. And now I am an Ironman 70.3 finisher. But if you had told me about 10 years ago that I was going to complete an Ironman, I would have told you that you were a liar. Because I'm not an athlete. I never was one. In fact, I was cut from the basketball and volleyball team in high school in the same week. I was not great at all. And so when my friend asked me to do a 5K, I was like, a 5 what? You want me to walk 3 miles? I was like, at the time, I wasn't what you would describe as being active. In fact, my doctor told me that I was in the obesity category. But my friend was convincing, and we started training, and we did it. And I was surprised that how much I enjoyed just walking and running outdoors. I mean, I felt better, I was stronger, I was becoming the person I always wanted to be. And after we completed the 5K, I got bit by the bug. I went from a 5K to a 10K, from a 10K to a 10-miler, a 10-miler to a half marathon, and then to a full marathon, and over a course of a year. I was in the best shape of my life. And then one day, I saw the Ironman World Championship on television, and I was amazed at all of the different athletes who participated in this race. They were just like us, everyday people, but from all walks of life, completing this race. And to see the tears of joy that came from their face as they crossed the finish line, I knew I had to do it. However, I didn't realize the learning curve that came with swimming and cycling. Now, swimming in a pool is one thing, but swimming in an open body of water where all of God's creatures can get you is a totally different thing. I had to overcome my fear of snakes and alligators because for some reason I thought they were going to attack me if I got into the lake. And not to mention, I had to learn to swim faster and longer distances. And when I first started swimming, I had to take a break after the first lap in the pool. So I've come a long way. And bicycling for me wasn't any easier. So with the bicycle, especially the ones that you see the triathlons use, you have to clip in or attach your foot to the pedal. And this was different from the bicycles we rode as children. In fact, I fell so many times on my bike that I developed palpitations with just starting and stopping the bike. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there were times I wanted to quit. There are times I asked myself, is this really worth it? But despite my fear, I kept going. I kept showing up each and every day, despite the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown. And eventually, I was able to get better. I got stronger. I could swim longer distances. I didn't drown. I could clip in and clip out without actually falling, most importantly. And then at the end, I was able to finish the race. And so since starting that 5K, I've been able to lose over 40 pounds. Thank you. And it inspired me to help others with trying to lose weight. I became a diplomat of the American Board of Obesity Medicine. And then also I started a podcast called the Back on Track Achieving Healthy Weight Loss Podcast in order to share with others what I wish somebody would have shared with me. And today I want to share at least just 3 steps on how we can all have a healthier lifestyle. The first step is going to be believing you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to take the action to achieve it. One of the ways that I used to help myself with believing I could do an Ironman half was actually just writing down a mantra, writing down an affirmation similar to what you all, the Eddingtons, were saying, and just posting it on my bathroom mirror. And just saying, just so that every time I go to brush my teeth, I could see it and saying that, okay, yes, I can do hard things. So it just kind of helped reiterate that. So I know we have your workshops, your workbooks. Just take a minute and write down what mantra, what affirmation that you use to help you believe in yourself to have a healthier lifestyle. And number 2 is focusing on the small goals that you need to do on a daily basis in order to achieve the ultimate goal. Sometimes by breaking up your goals into small bites, it makes it so much easier to swallow and to actually implement. And then also on your workshops, write down, is there a small goal that you can use in order to be healthier? It doesn't have to be big. It could be something as simple as eating more fruit, more vegetables, or hey, starting a walking program. Sometimes we think it has to be huge, but honestly, it's just the small steps that you need in order to make it to your goal. And then the last step is stay consistent. I was reading in Forbes that 80% of New Year's resolutions actually fail by February. By February. So they're all gone now. Basically, it's March. But what we do, if we can just stay consistent with what we're trying to do with our healthy habits, it allows us to make it into a habit and for us to get to our ultimate goal. It wasn't always evident to me that when I was doing the daily activities, the exercising, the running, that it was actually going to make a difference. But I found that if I stayed consistent and just showed up, even when I didn't feel like it, I was able to finish the race. Some may be thinking that, I'm giving up trying to be healthy. I'm just going to do what I do and just let it go. But if you're feeling like that, just remember that there's 3 ways that you can do by being healthy, by believing you can do it, by focusing on the small goals, and by staying consistent that will help you live a healthier life. The motivational author, Zach Frazier, once said that the key to success is consistency, and right now, the best way to take action is to believe in yourself. Thank you.